Look at an example. If you can see the screenshot over here, I've actually searched for best CRM. Okay, assume that I do not know anything about CRM, or I have a little bit of an idea about CRM, and I want to know who is the best in the market. So I searched for best CRM. Now, if you see, Freshworks is running an ad, Gero is running an ad, Pega is running an ad, Salesforce is running an ad. Generally, the Google ads that are coming up here for that particular keyword best CRM is considered to be performance, because it is supposed to elicit a response from this particular visitor, right? But the first touch point, the user, what they're looking at here is a copy. What is making them click? I'm actually looking at this Freshworks CRM software. It talks about robust yet easy to use software. It is super user friendly. It is my Salesforce deserve a better CRM software. It talks about a lot of these things. First of all, I'm getting to know that when I'm searching for CRM, these are the companies that offer CRM. That is awareness. First of all, awareness is a form of branding, right? And I'm getting to know about some of the features. For example, if I'm looking at this, I do not know why they are running an ad for best CRM. It's a marketing funnel simulator. Assume that it is a CRM. It talks about the regular price. It says, no monthly fees. And I would know, okay, there is a CRM with no monthly fees. There is a limited time offer that is for this price. There is a lifetime access. So I'm getting to know more about it. If you look at the Salesforce ad, it talks about increasing lead volume, revenue, and retention. These are business pain points that I may have. So if I'm searching for CRM and somebody is actually solving that pain point, I'm first getting to know that, okay, this particular product is there in the market and they're solving my problem and they're one of the best CRMs. That is the assumption that I have. So it starts with branding, and once the user clicks on it and goes to a landing page, whether they're signing up for a free trial or filling up a lead form, that becomes performance. I hope you got the idea in terms of how it all starts with branding and how it boils down to performance. So you cannot treat this as performance separately. I mean, this is a fantastic branding opportunity for your brand. All right. Let us look at a few more examples. Once I clicked on that particular ad, let's say I clicked on the Freshworks CRM. You shouldn't be clicking an ads unless you don't have a need. I actually took the URL, removed the UTM, and opened it in an incognito window just so that they don't incur the cost. As a performance marketer, you should be doing that. Do not click on an ad when you don't have a need. And as much as possible, you need to be educating marketers around you to be not clicking on an ads all the time. And if possible, if you get an opportunity to speak at a conference to hundreds of people, please do convey this option. If you don't have a need for educational purposes, you don't have to click on the ad. Right click, copy the URL, remove the UTM, open it in an incognito window, you get to see the same page, right? So do that. Okay. So I literally took the landing page that was connected to that previous ad where Freshworks was running an ad. This led me to a landing page. Landing page again is a phenomenal branding plus performance opportunity because it talks about who you are, what kind of benefits you offer, what kind of problems you solve, who all recognize you, all of that. It's a fantastic branding opportunity. First of all, somebody is getting to know you, and that is branding in a way, right? And I'm looking at all these display creatives that again connects this. These are all display creatives, banner creatives that comes up on different websites, right? And there are a few tools that will help you pull these out as well. Some of these we discussed in the workshop and we will cover that as well. If you look at this particular real estate, if you look at truly understand your customers, tell how a Freshworks CRMs, which can achieve 77% increase in sales if you actually try me out. Bridging the gap between marketing and sales. These are specific pain points that people, generally business owners, anybody who is wanting a CRM, a marketing head would have these problems. A sales head will have these problems. When a Freshwork is putting out an ad, first of all, the user who is looking at this display creative or the banner creative in a website, they form a perception about you. Then they find it interesting, then they click on that ad, then they come to this landing page, they see all the benefits that you are offering as a brand, and then finally they decide to sign up. And that is when it becomes performance, right? So now I hope you can actually able to connect the dots between where branding is and where performance is, and how some branding campaigns can be completely different, right? It shouldn't be the case. Every customer touch point has to speak the same language. For example, I cannot have a communication like this, why Freshworks CRM is the best CRM system for you. and I cannot be talking about something else, let's say marketing automation or any other. It's just a complete disconnect for people. You shouldn't do that. So I have a pro tip. You'll see that pro tip often in some of the slides. So whenever there is a pro tip, you need to pay extra attention to that. So as a performance marketer, maintain a journal. Okay, it can be a physical journal or it can be a Notion. Please take notes of everything that you find nice. Okay, like how I have captured this landing page snapshot, I've captured this display creative, I've captured the Google ad creative. Find everything that you find nice and capture it. Let it sit in a Notion file that you can always come back and refer to. Or if you're a Google Drive person, you can actually put that. It's not really friendly, so you can actually sign up for a free Notion account and compile all of them and keep it. It is the most valuable information that you can have as a performance marketer. That's a tip. All right. Now let's look at a B2C example. What we looked at here is a B2B example because Freshworks CRM sell to other businesses. Now let's look at a B2B-C example. Now I searched for term insurance in Google, and there are some of these guys that are popping up. There is ICICI Prudential, there is Policy Bazaar, Pay Bima, Max Life Insurance. All right. First of all, I'm getting to know that who are the people who are actually offering term insurance. That itself is an awareness. And in that awareness opportunity, they are talking more about the product benefits as well. Look, I cover 34 critical illnesses. I can cover you up to 85 years. Even I can cover you up to 99 years. Now that's a phenomenal branding that what ICICI Prudential is doing here. Without even somebody clicking on this ad and going to a landing page and talking to a salesperson, they're actually communicating a lot about this, their product, what they offer. That is critical. That is critical branding opportunity. Even before you try and generate a performance opportunity out of it, it is first of all a branding opportunity. Similarly with Max Life Insurance as well, they're talking about age 85 and protection against income loss and all of that. It's a great branding opportunity. So you have to start looking at it as a branding and performance both when you have opportunity like this. Let me go to the landing page now, where that ad led to. Landing page again, they're talking about complete protection for your loved ones, and it has some calculator. These are some display creatives that we kind of reverse engineered to find. Again, if I had clicked on one of these display creatives, it would have come to this landing page. Now, if you look at it, all of this, they're not screaming by me. First of all, they're communicating their value proposition that I do this, I do that, I do this for you. And if you're keen on getting it, then you can actually calculate the premium. Come visit my website and you can calculate the premium that I'm going to go for it. So first of all, it's a branding opportunity. Then it becomes a performance opportunity. Once a consumer or customer is aware of what you're offering, once they're convinced with what you're offering, then they fill up the form. And that ends up becoming a qualified lead. That qualified lead ends up becoming a customer as well. All right. Another pro tip that we have here is pay attention to the URL starting today. Okay, if you see, I have captured a screenshot including the URL. You have to pay attention to the URL. That will give you a variety of insights. As we go along, we'll tell you how a URL makes sense. First of all, this one doesn't have as much insights that you can gauge, but certain things will have which source that they're running, what is the landing page version. There are so many things that you can gauge out of URL. As we go along, in week number 2 or week number 3, we'll definitely dive deep into this, but start paying attention to the URL from today. Okay, you do not just pay attention to the landing page and copy, pay attention to the URL structure as well. All right. Next opportunity where branding and performance come together is push notification. All right. How many of you have paid attention to what Swiggy does? Every time Swiggy sends you a really interesting push notification, right? What is the purpose of the push notification? Think about it. What is the purpose of a push notification? The purpose of push notification is to get you to open the app and to perform an action. In a way, it is performance. But look at how Swiggy is capitalizing on it. Swiggy is using this as a fantastic branding opportunity. I have actually taken the screenshots from different places, from Twitter and where people share these screenshots. Okay, and from Behance profiles I have shared. I've given that credit as well. If you look at all of these things, they have smartly merged branding and performance. Well, first of all, they're trying and creating an interesting communication to engage you, to get your attention. Then now once you click on it, the action that you're going to perform is performance, right? That is exactly where the intersection of branding and performance comes. For fantastic push notification, if I have to read one, calling all the foodies, we are dishing out offers. I do not speak Hindi, but you can actually, I think it is a song. It is a very popular song, Soot Soot Nahi Karda. And, they have an extension of that, to get your attention. They're using an interesting headline, and then there is a description. If you're somebody who actually read it, even if you did not react to it, even if you did not open and place an order, you still have captured the attention of that person who has read it. That is the beauty of when branding and performance merge. It's magic. All right. Content marketing. I know if you've been in marketing, you would have definitely known HubSpot. There is absolutely no way that you haven't heard about HubSpot. Now, what is the point of HubSpot doing all of that content and getting discovered for literally everything? Right? If you remember the definition that I gave, if you as a business is only transaction minded, whatever you're doing is completely performance, all you're saying is, hey, buy my product and leave. If you are not doing anything else, you are not in that business for a longer term. Okay. HubSpot, as a business, they took on giants. Earlier before HubSpot, there were Adobe and Marketo, who were all large enterprises. But as a startup, HubSpot came into play, and they created a lot of really useful content. Got themselves discovered organically. A lot of marketers started building emotional connect with that brand. Now, if I have to, anybody who is consuming HubSpot content, right? If that person has a need for signing up for a marketing automation platform, the first thing that comes to their mind is HubSpot. That is the power of branding. All right. Now let's get on the same page. There are, a few things that we need to, because we need to speak the same language. Like I said, it is going to get jargon heavy as we move forward. It is really important for you to pay attention, and for us, for you and I, both to be speaking the same language. So let's get on the same page. First is business. We already spoken about this: B2B, B2C, B2G, and D2C. Hereafter, I'm not gonna be explaining what it is. You need to know what these abbreviations are. We will be telling B2B and move on. We will not be telling what B2B is. So it is very important for you to understand the different businesses, the different business models that exist out there. Okay. The next one is brand. We'll be talking about using the word brand all the time. Whenever we say brand, it means multiple things. It could be a logo. It could be the colors that the brand is using. It could be the messaging. Messaging, like I said, the one thing that if you have to define that brand in one line, how would you define that? That is what messaging is. All right. Then choice of words. What are the choice of words that the brand is using? USP is unique selling proposition. There is something that only I can offer. That is unique selling proposition, right? Then there is value proposition. What is the value that I am offering to people, right? And there is competition. You need to have a lot of idea around the competition. We have a separate module for competition. It's really critical as a performance marketer. You have to be aware of what the competition is up to, so you can always be one step ahead of them. End of the day, it is about the game of 2 or 3. If you are ahead of competition one step, you'll always win that customer. Otherwise, you don't. Then there is 5P. 5P is the 5 P's of marketing, or 4 P's of marketing, as popularly called. You can quickly Google it to understand, what this 5 P's is. There is, your price and product plays and promotions and stuff like that. So all of these things come under this broad subject called brand. Okay. Like I said, you need to know, if you're not a brand specialist, at least you need to know what is the function of a brand. Let me give you a quick context here. Okay. I have this very popular client who's into healthcare. Okay. And we run campaigns on Google and Facebook and everything. What is the highest conversion generating keyword? It is their brand. When somebody is searching for their brand name, that person is very likely to fill up a form or buy the product or become a customer. It is very, very powerful. Brand is extremely powerful. So as a performance marketer, do not have someone else tell you otherwise, that brand is useless. Okay. Next one is target audience. Okay. We are going to be talking about P1, P2, P3 a lot. This is an extension of the workshop. In case if you do not remember it, I'm going to quickly recall that. P1 is the audience who are in the market ready to buy your product. They're almost at the verge of buying a product. They may be considering between you and your competition, but they're very clearly aware of what they want, and they know that you have that thing that they're looking for. So it is that exact audience who will buy. So, I'll quickly recall the point that I had mentioned during the workshop. In any market, let's say there are 100 people, okay, overall, the population is 100 people. There are only 3% of the people who are willing to buy your product or service. Only 3% of the people are in the market looking for what you're selling. That becomes your P1. But can you actually grow a business only with that 3%? You cannot. You actually become a bigger business, a larger business, a successful business by actually going after P2 and P3. P2 are the people who otherwise go by the name warm audience. They are people who are in between. They're not really sure about if they actually want you. Okay, they're not really sure about their own problem itself. They're somewhere in between. They have liked some of your Facebook posts. They have probably read your blog. They might have watched some of your videos, but they're not really very serious about buying a product. They need a little bit of nudge. P3 is the audience who need a lot of education. Okay, before you can actually convince them to come and buy, you actually need a lot of education, all the way from helping them understand that they have this problem. Then you have to tell them what are the implications that they are facing because of that problem. Then you can tell them that how can you solve these problems. Then you pitch your product saying that I am one of the more effective ways of solving that problem. Look at how many times you have to show up in front of this person, burning advertising money in order to educate them, getting them to become a customer. So that P3 is a really difficult nut to crack. But if you really want to move forward, people talk about scaling all the time, right? That scaling happens in P3 and not with P1 and P2, who doesn't really occupy a major portion of who you are going after. Then there are decision makers and influencers. Decision makers who finally take that decision. For example, let's say if you are in the process of buying a home, okay, and let's say you're a young couple, and let's say your parents are there. All of these people come together in making that decision, but there'll be one final decision maker. It could be either you, the breadwinner of the family, or if you are young, it might be a father who's still learning. He might end up taking decision. In many cases, it is the mother who will actually influences this decision. There are quite a few people, who actually can influence a decision, and there is finally someone who's taking that decision. So the people who are influencing the decision are called influencers, and the person who's finally taking the decision is called decision maker. In B2B, especially in B2B context, we'll be talking about this a lot. For example, let's say I'm a digital marketing agency, right? And if I have to buy a CRM, first is I'm an influencer, and the final decision maker is my boss, who is the CEO of the company, right? It will be me who will be doing all the research, doing all the cost benefit analysis and coming up with the best suggestion. But the final decision, it is sitting with the CEO. So I'm the influencer in this case, and the CEO is the decision maker in order to buy a B2B product. Okay. And the next one is the destination. Okay. Website, homepage, irrespective of the type of business. It could be a B2C business, B2B business. The website homepage is critical. Okay. You cannot assume that, you can run a Google ad, people will come fill up the landing page form and they will buy it. No. People will visit your website to see what type of a company you are. So your website homepage is critical. Your product pages are critical. In a product page, mainly in the context of e-commerce company. Let's say you take an example like Myntra.com. There is a homepage, right? Myntra.com is a homepage. Now, when you go to t-shirts and you select a particular brand, you have a list of products, right? And you open one of the product, the color, specification, the fabric, brand, price, and everything is there. That's a product page. When you are actually running performance marketing campaigns for e-commerce, you will very likely be driving traffic to the product pages. Okay. Or you'll be driving traffic to the category page. For example, if somebody is in the market looking for t-shirts, you will drive them to a page where they can actually browse a lot of t-shirts, a lot of different brands. So that is product pages. And the third type of landing page is a PPC landing page. Okay. You looked at the example that I just showed you, right? The Fresh Desk example, it is not their website. It is a PPC landing page. It is meant for that ad. Similarly, I showed you the ICICI Prudential example where there was a calculator kind of a stuff a couple of slides back, and that is a PPC landing page. These are landing pages that are meant for pay-per-click campaigns, which is Google ads, which is display ads, which are Facebook ads, which is meant for that. So these are the three different types of, broadly speaking, these are the three different types of pages that you will be using for your campaigns most of the time. So again, I will not be giving you broader definition of this a little later in the course. So this is the time if you're a beginner, you need to get this understanding. Okay. If you have some questions about it, please drop that in the community and one of us will definitely help you out. Give an example in terms of how a home page looks like, how a product page looks like, and how a PPC landing page look like. All right. The next one is traffic drivers. As a performance marketer, you need to understand what are the sources of traffic generation. First is, if you have to grow a tree, right? First is the foundation, right? You need to, identify the seeds, that can actually give you that plant. Then you have to, pour water and then grow it, maintain it, and do all of that. So that is, the foundation of growing a tree. Similarly, growing a business, end of the day, it boils down to how many people are aware of you, how many people are actually coming to your website. That is traffic. These are the channels that actually drive these customers to your destination, right? There could be direct traffic. Direct traffic are people who know your website directly, like www.flipkart.com. If somebody types that in their browser and they go to flipkart.com website, that is direct traffic. Okay. Or if somebody had bookmarked your website and they clicked on the bookmark to reach you, that is direct traffic. Then there is SEO traffic, which is organic. If you search for term insurance, there are these 5 guys who are running ads. Beyond that 5 ads, there are these links who are not really running ads, right? And that is SEO. People do, and it's a whole big subject that we need to talk about, but it is an organic way of driving traffic to you. And it has a lot of things to master before you actually start getting SEO traffic for you. Then there is PPC. PPC is pay per click. When you actually pay for a click to drive that particular traffic to your website or any of the destination pages, could be a website or homepage or landing page or it could be a product page. When you pay money for a click, that becomes PPC traffic. Okay. Then there is social media. Anything that you do on Instagram, right? Anything that you do on Facebook, you keep posting different content. You partner with influencers and they promote your business for you. All of that becomes social media traffic. And there is video driven traffic. Whenever you're watching a YouTube video, there is this ad that pops up in front of you, right? And every time that ad comes up, it will usually carry a small snippet of text. And when you click on that text, it will actually take you to the landing page. That is video driven traffic. Similarly, on Facebook, you can run that and, along with that video, you can have a call to action, or above the video, that caption can have the URL. That becomes video driven traffic. Then there is referral traffic. Referral traffic are other websites who are talking about you. For example, let's say if Times of India has written an article about you and they would have linked, for example, if they're mentioning your company in the article and they would have hyperlinked that, and that hyperlink will lead you to your website, that becomes referral traffic. When some other website is actually referring their traffic to us, that becomes referral traffic. Then there is email traffic. When you send emails to a lot of people and people open that email and they click on it and they reach your website or landing page, that becomes email driven traffic. SMS also can be a traffic push. Many times you receive this promotional SMS on your inbox, right? Every time it will have a URL, and that when you click on that URL and you come to that landing page, that becomes SMS driven traffic. Push traffic, push notifications that comes on your app. When you click on that, it opens up your app, right? That is again a push traffic. Then there is media buying. Media buying is, let's say there is crickinfo.com or there is economictimes.com, yourstory.com. You can actually buy media from them. When you go to any of these websites, there are these different banner ads, right, that are there in their homepage. And when you read any of their content, there will be ads that pops up. That can happen in different ways. We'll talk about that later. But in a way, it is media buying, where you buy media from their real estate. That becomes media buying. You can actually drive traffic using media buying as well. And finally, retargeting. Most of you will know what is retargeting. I actually like to use the analogy, the Hutch dog, Vodafone Hutch dog. It's not the Vodafone dog. The Hutch dog keeps following you, right? That is exactly what retargeting. When you go to a makemytrip.com, Redbus, or Flipkart or Amazon, if you actually add a product to the cart but you did not buy it, they will again show up on your Facebook newsfeed or on the different websites that you go, asking you to come back and buy the product. That's retargeting. All of these are different ways of driving traffic. I think we have covered most of it in terms of what are all the different channels that you can potentially use to drive traffic, because first you need to drive the traffic. Then they come what is there in your landing page. Then they get convinced with what they have to offer. Then you might retarget them. Then they decide to buy. There are different channels that consumers goes to. And as a performance marketer, you need to be aware of all the sources of traffic. You may not end up doing everything. For example, SEO. It will be handled by SEO professionals. Similarly, direct traffic is something that you don't control directly, but it'll happen in a very different way. Social media, as a performance marketer, you may not be managing your social media channels. You might just use your channels to run advertising, but not manage the day-to-day posts that they do or influencer promotions that they do. You may not be doing it. Similarly, if you're a large company, you will have a separate team for push notifications. I was talking about Swiggy, right? Swiggy has a large team that actually manages push notifications. They are creative talent, not the regular writers, who write random stuff. A lot of really popular and strong creative talent work at Swiggy to create these push notifications because it's extremely crucial, right? Rest of most of the things you'll be doing, you as a performance marketer, you can execute SMS campaigns. Many of them do. You can execute email campaigns. Many of them do. A referral, in a way, it is in your control, but it is not. So largely speaking, you are responsible for a good portion of these channels in order to drive traffic. All right. The next one is communication. What are you actually putting in front of your customers, right? And this is where I give you a definition. Again, we won't be repeating this definition a little later in the sessions. You cannot come back and ask me what is copy. Ad types can be many things, okay? It can be just an image. Most likely you will see on your Facebook newsfeed, right, with the tag sponsored. It is just a single image, that's it. Or you can actually see a carousel, which will be blocks of images that are being shown to you. Or it can be a video, right? If you actually go to a display, if you go to different websites, the banner that comes up here, it can be a GIF, right? These are different ad types. This is how it looks to the customers. Then there is copy. Copy, or this little nice text that is written on that visual. Okay. Let's say if it is a static image, there is some text that is written on that, right? That becomes copy. Copy is, it can be literally everywhere. It can be the caption on the ad, caption on your post, or the landing page. We are talking about this PPC landing page, right? All the text that you see, it's copy. It's not copy paste. We are going to be referring hereafter, whenever we say copy, it means that. These are little nuggets of text that actually pushes people to take some action. These are the text that creates awareness. These are the text that creates perception of the brand. Copywriting is extremely crucial skill. As a performance marketer, if you don't become a copywriter, at least you need to have a good grip on how copies are written or how to get the best work done by copywriters. It's extremely crucial. Then finally, the creative, it is the end output. It is the way it looks. It will have a visual and it will have some text on it. Or there will be a video and it will have some text on it, right? The final output that the user gets to see is the creative. That creative is the visual plus the text plus the call to action that accompanies it. That the final product is creative. Right? We will be talking about, we'll be using these words again and again frequently. Please don't get confused. Pause here, breathe, get an understanding of all of these things, and then move and then resume the video. All right. It's extremely crucial. The next one is customer experience. All the customer touch points, let's say if you're that CRM business, if you're Freshdesk, and you are in the process of generating awareness, you are in the process of driving leads in, you're in the process of getting customers to buy your product, right? Now, when you are actually doing that, there are multiple touch points as the customer goes through. They might see your ad, they might click on it, they might go to your website, they will read on it. If you have a chat, they might chat with some person. If they have some query, they might call the phone number on that landing page and that somebody will be calling them. If that person has filled up a form, you'll be sending them emails, right? If you have their phone number, then you will be sending them SMS, right? There are certain types of campaigns you can run that can actually push people to visit the store. If you're a retail store, right? You can actually push people to walk to a store and redeem an offer or buy a product and stuff like that. Every touch point that a customer has, it becomes a customer experience touch point. You may not have control over everything, but as a performance marketer, you exactly need to know where the problem is. So you can work with that team to fix it. As we go along, as we look at a lot of data points, we'll definitely be talking more about it. But these are all customer touch points. This is where you differentiate yourself from any other performance marketer out there who just runs ads. They will be looking at their Facebook ad dashboard and they'll be thinking, hey, I am doing everything as per what what Facebook advised or the gurus or the tech companies advised. But why am I not getting sales? It is not just the ad that will do the job, right? How many times you as a customer clicked on an ad and bought a product, right? It would be stupid to expect of a customer to do that, right? You cannot do that. The customer goes through multiple different things before they actually make a buying decision, and you need to ensure that all of them are in sync, right? For example, that ICSA example, you have a great landing page, you have a great visual, the customer is convinced, but the salesperson who is actually calling that person, if they are not communicating, if they're not speaking the language that the landing page spoke, the conversion won't happen. Very, very less conversions will happen, but that is only if you have a phenomenal product. Otherwise, the conversions won't happen at all. So if even you may be doing a good job of a performance marketer of driving qualified traffic, but if the salesperson is not actually doing the job right, then your campaign effectiveness goes for a toss. So you need to keep an eye on that as well. Okay, that is customer experience. The next one is customer behavior. How is your customer behaving in all the destination points that you have? Starting with analytics like Google Analytics is there, Adobe Analytics. That is the first tool that you will be using to understand what is the customer doing on your website. Many a times you make this mistake of always looking at your ad dashboards and not looking at the website. If you actually do that, you will get ton of insights. Okay, that is what analytics is. Analytics tells you how what type of customers are coming in, where are they coming from, what are they doing within your website. These kind of numbers will be given to you. If you're somebody who has used Google Analytics, you know what I'm talking about. The next one is heat map. Heat map is is actually a customer's footprint. There are data that analytics tools do not reveal. For example, Google Analytics does not reveal, but there are heat map tools out there. We'll be talking about a ton of them later. But there are just look up heat maps on Google and you will get to know. It'll have colors, in terms of where the attention of the customer is going to on your web page. It's extremely important. And there are visitor recordings. Visitor recordings is literal video recording of how the customer is browsing your website. Okay. Then there are surveys that you can run. For example, while you're shopping on any website, sometimes a survey would have popped up saying that, hey, are you satisfied with the range that we are offering? Are you able to shop freely? Would you recommend me to customers? Stuff like that. There'll be a small survey that pops up. That's critical. Then finally, interviews. Even after having all the tools, it is very difficult for you to know 100% of your customer behavior, right? Sometimes actually talking to a target customer, target prospect, or an actual customer, or a customer who has shopped from you before but they do not shop anymore, having a one-on-one conversation actually will reveal a lot of benefits. Easier said than done. As a performance marketer or as an ad ops person or as a marketing person, you would have never done that, because I have gone through a very similar career path, right? And I can tell you would have never spoken to a customer, but you would still be running campaigns. Try and do that. Try and have a conversation with a prospect or a customer. You will get a lot of insights. If there is a possibility, listen to the sales recordings. Whenever your sales team is going to call people, there is going to be recording. Listen to that recording. You will know what people want. Why are they not buying your product? A lot of that conversation happens, and the sales team generally do not pass this feedback to you. They will just tell you, hey, marketing, you are not doing your job right. You are giving me shit, people, right? And you must be wondering that, look, I'm doing everything right, and why is the customer behaving like that? So have a conversation, listen to the sales recording. That will actually give you a lot more insights. Next one is conversion optimization. This is a topic that I think we'll be covering in week 5. But if you do get time, start reading up on this. So what conversion optimization is, in a nutshell, it is improving the conversions on your website. Okay. It is, let's say, if you're driving about 100 visitors from Google ad to your website and only one person is buying it or 2 people are buying it. Why? All these 100 people search for that product, but why only 2 people are buying it? There is a reason the remaining 98 people did not buy that product. So conversion rate optimization is the process of understanding why and then running a few experiments on the website so that you can improve the conversion rates. Okay, easier said than done. It's a much bigger, larger topic, and it is an entire industry on its own. So whenever you get time, start reading about it. Go to cxl.com. cxl.com has a great blog where you can learn the fundamentals of conversion optimization. That'll be really helpful. All right. The next one is tag management. Tag management is, again, we have a module that talks about tag management. The most popular tool that we'll be using in the modules is Google Tag Manager. What happens is when you're running multiple different types of advertising out there, right? You might be running Google ads, Facebook ads, native ads and video ads and all of that, programmatic. When you run these form of advertising, all of these guys will share a pixel code with you. It's a piece of code, JavaScript, that you need to place on your website. And as and when you keep on adding more of these codes, you will end up adding load to the website, and your website will start performing very poorly. Even if your website loading time is lesser than 1 second, it can actually have a very big impact on your campaign spending. It can have a very big impact on your ROI. Many performance marketers or marketing managers do not really pay attention to it. Google has a very interesting tool, and I will definitely share that in the community, where if they will actually tell you, look, if your website loading is 7 seconds, you're actually losing this much revenue. That's pretty exciting insight to look at, because people don't have patience. With the advent of faster internet and stuff like that, why would anyone wait for 10 seconds for your web page to load? Unless you offer something really exciting, they don't really have a reason to stay on that website till the time you load. So tag management is a subject, or it's a practice that will help you optimize that, wherein you can have one tool to kind of manage all the codes so that your website performance is much better. And it's extremely crucial for you to understand. The next one is marketing technology. And marketing technology is any technology product out there that enables marketing. For example, the landing page builders, Unbounce and Instapage, the CRMs out there, or it could be a marketing or the ad automation tool out there. All of these things, form this marketing tech. Martech is an industry on its own. We'll be using this terminology a lot. And for a business, you can be of any business, or it can be you can be just a learner, or it could be working for an agency. Martech is something that you need to have a grip on. What are the different type of tools available out there? In this 8 weeks itself, we will be looking at least 50 to 60 different tools. All right. In this module alone, towards the end of it, we are going to be looking at a good 15 tools, 150 to 20 tools, right? You can't get away from it. In fact, you become a better marketer or a sharper marketer when you know a certain tool, and if you know what that tool does, you become much sharper, right? And you can add all of these to your profile. It will add much more weightage. Now, marketing technology is a huge industry. Read up on that. And we will be talking about that a lot. This is actually technology that enables marketing. That is why it's called marketing technology. The next one, very crucial for you to have, is eye for detail, right? That's extremely important. Even if you do not have it, you need to start having it. A single mistake that you can make actually can be a big blunder. For example, I have had cases where the budget of the campaign was 30,000. It was a small promotion, and instead of setting the lifetime budget as 30,000, the person in my team has set it to 3 lakhs. And since the campaign was only about 2 to 3 days, that person did not actually bother look at the dashboard, and the campaign spent 3 lakhs. Now, where do we get this money? Look at the damage. It's 2,70,000 damage for a single mistake, for one extra zero. So this is something that you absolutely cannot ignore. You need to have eye for detail. And a good exercise somebody told me when I was way young, 5 years back, for me to improve that, is start doing everything mindfully. Easier said than done. But what it actually means is, let's say if you are drinking a bottle of water, okay, you pay attention to that bottle of water. You do not get distracted by anything else. You don't watch a TV program and drink water. Pay attention to the water, observe that water going down your throat, and start doing that similar thing for everything that you do. While you're brushing your teeth, observe how you're brushing your teeth, how that bristles are moving, how your teeth is reacting. While you're actually eating, just pay attention to the food. When you actually starting to inculcate all these things in your daily life, right, your eye for detail automatically improves. And that is what I have done personally, and I'm 100% sure it will work for you. If you're someone who has been making these mistakes, please start doing things mindfully. It is very, very difficult, but if you actually pay attention to it and start paying attention to everything that you do, understand why I'm moving my hands like this, why I'm talking to you like this, why, when you pay attention to the mouse, just look at the mouse and pay attention to that bloody thing, right? When you do that, your eye for detail actually improves. The next thing important to have is copious note taking. I already told you to maintain a journal. If you write something, you'll very likely not forget it, which is the whole purpose of actually note taking. But having said that, I myself don't take notes a lot, and I used to take in the beginning of my career, but I use Notion now. I put everything in Notion. Every time I come across an interesting ad, interesting landing page, or somebody talking about a tool, or somebody giving me a nice tip, every time I hear something new, I immediately go to Notion, either in my phone or on desktop, and I put that. Okay, it's very, very important skill to have, mandatory. Especially if you're looking at making it big, if you want performance marketing to be the if your long-term goal and your short-term goal, you better be good at note taking. Let me tell you something, because in our life there is only so much that we could learn, only so much that we could execute. From observing a lot of these things, we can learn a lot. Okay, that is why note taking is extremely critical. Finally, it's very important to be humble. And even after us spending, Ashwin and I, we spent almost 10 years in the industry, we still consider ourselves that we know only 20% of what is out there. Okay, it is a continuous learning process. Even if you are turning 60, 65 and you're still a performance marketer or you're CMO, you need to be continuously learning. You're a learner for life, especially if you have chosen marketing as your profession. You have to continuously learn almost every day. Even if you can spend like 2 to 3 minutes every day, it's extremely critical, but you have to start doing that. There is no way out of it. And that is what makes this exciting as well, right? Because the space evolves so rapidly. If you do not catch up with what is happening for a couple of days, you feel like you're outdated. And that is what makes it exciting as well. All right.